everything that's gone into this, but we wanted to make a special appreciation to all of you that came out, especially all you students. So this is something that everybody can be proud of for current students, future students, and of course, our past class of 2020. So, Ms. Fife?
So I just want to touch on just a few things, but I don't want to take too much because I want a couple of our past seniors to do most of the talking. So the first thing the class of 2020 endured was the school construction. And I have one student that never let something down. So Jaden, I want you to take this chalk in front of my car. I want you to go to write Jaden Brown, spot number 1.
Oh, sweet.
So the tradition was yes, you do that now.
that.
You take your spot. The tradition was the seniors, we give them the first spots, and then juniors and on down. And I don't know how many times Jaden came to me, and just again a couple days ago, that one tradition that just got him was he did not have his parking spot. So now he has his parking spot.
For tonight.
For tonight. For tonight. That's yours, Jaden. Number 1. All right. You got your spot. I know you're not. You told me that the other day. It's never going to go. The next thing that comes to mind with the class of 2020 is the sports. A lot of them didn't get to finish their sports their senior year. The next thing, the Disney trip. Like, I think Mr. Priest has never missed a Disney trip. The class officers met with me so many times. Of course, we couldn't meet at the school, so we met at the fire station to make it legal for us to meet. So we met so many times and tried to redo so these kids could go on their Disney trip, and it just never happened. So that's one thing I really hated for them. Graduation. We kept planning date. Parents would call, are we going to have this graduation before these kids go to college? We just didn't know. But thanks to administration, they made that happen, except for a big storm came through the night before, and we had a whole lot of cleaning up to do to make that graduation work. But a lot of hard work and dedication that made it through. So, class of 2020, I'm very proud of you guys. Mr. Priest. So our goal this year is we tried for a Disney trip in October, and that just didn't happen. So this is Mr. Priest. He's going to retire this year. So we really got to make this happen somehow so he can get his last Disney trip in with the class of this next class. You're welcome.
Well, let's see. I started teaching 47 years ago, and I've had a lot of senior classes that went through that I've watched grow up. And if someone said, which class do you remember most? I'd have to say 2020. What they went through is unbelievable. The leadership that they exhibited, example right here, it's unbelievable. And just has such a good positive attitude after what they went through, like Tracy said, what they missed, what they got shortchanged on, something as simple as a prom, that they missed. But Jaden kind of helped them out there, but that was nice. But I sure am proud of it, and being around kids like this class of 2020 probably is why I stayed in education as long as I have. It's been an honor. And I'd like to introduce now the Vice President, Matthew Hahn.
Like he said, I'm Matthew Hahn. I'm the Vice President for the class of 2020. Since the monument's inception over a year and a half ago, it proved to be a difficult project to bring to life. Many of us were getting ready to leave the nest and start a new life at college or directly into the workforce. So bringing people together to work on something bigger than ourselves was quite powerful. If you're not familiar or are new to the structure, this is the class of 2020 monument. It was designed and driven by myself and the class president, Jaden Brown, who you'll hear from after me. The most important goal in bringing this monument to life was to make an impact on our community and to leave Rossville better than we found it, one brick at a time. Over the past 1.5 years, it has become apparent to me to celebrate the present and to not take anything for granted, because when life comes to a screeching halt, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to keep a positive mindset and focus on the present. And for us, this was giving back to our community. We owe a great deal to our Rossville community, who supported us during our rough exit as senior graduates of 2020. Rossville schools and community took something tragic and disheartening and turned it the other way around, from highlighting our seniors on streetlight banners across town, to making a school-wide video congratulating our accomplishments and dedication to our school, to being able to have an in-person graduation and prom, and featuring us on local newspapers and social media accounts. Every effort you made positively affected our class, and for that I thank you. May we give back to our school by dedicating this class of 2020 monument to Rossville schools. So if you are from the class of 2020 here, I ask you to come to the front edge here and then just go down one by one and introduce yourself to everyone. Come on, come on.
I'll just turn
Start
around.
down there. Really?
I was like, why are we
Gonna turn my back on me.
Sam Lawson. I'm Ella Marley. Brianna Lowry. Shaylin Walton. I'm Victoria Cease. I'm Lindsay Roberts.
Ethan Buck.
Mitch Dickerson, Tyler Jenkinson, Logan Matthews, Eli Gibson.
So we had 69 graduates for our class, and finally I'd like to introduce our class president, Jaden Brown, who will speak on the history of this monument.
Well, I have to say, I'm really happy to see so many people out here. Part of me was kind of worried I'd be like 10 or 15, so I'm happy the number's bigger than that. So just to recap a little bit how this all happened, it was last summer, and we found that we still had some leftover money from our class account because we didn't go to Disney. And Matt and I were talking, and we always wanted to give something back said donated by class of 2020. Talked about murals on the walls and other things like that, but we said those would be painted over. Well, then I said, well, let's actually build something. And for anyone who knows me, I'm a big history guy, and I knew that this cornerstone was still in the Rossville area, and I knew someone who helped me get in contact with the person who had it. One thing led to another, few phone calls, meetings with Mr. Thompson, other class officers, Matthew, and we got the ball rolling, and we got the design started. So let's see where I am in my notes here. But yeah, so the history on the cornerstone of the school, just briefly. So the school was actually officially registered as school in 1896. So something fun about this monument here is here in 2021 is the 125th anniversary of Rossville High School, and so this cornerstone came from the original high school, which was constructed in 1903. And for anyone who can see it on this side, here in the middle is my great-great-great-grandpa, Joseph S.D. Brown. So I always knew I wanted to get this cornerstone out into the public light or my front lawn, one of the two. So I'm a lot happier that it's here at the school, back at the school again. But nearly any project takes time, people, and resources. And I hate to make you guys move, but I have to go to this table to say a few thanks to people. Ty and Sasha Brown, if you guys can come up here so I can properly thank you. So for those of you who don't know, class account covered a lot of this, but we needed some extra stuff, resources, time, advice. My parents were able to give that to me, and so I have a gift for both of them to thank them for that, along with everything they helped me with this entire project. I don't see my grandparents Hal and Sue here today. Their freezer quit. Their freezer quit. So I'll have to give this in a later time, but they also helped me a lot. Lauren, you want? Yeah, Lauren, you can take it. Good idea. You gotta shake my hand though. They helped me with this a lot as well as telling me the cornerstone still exists. And my grandpa, he always wanted to see it outside. So back freshman year, for anyone who was a class officer that year, I was on this committee. It was like the last month of school. We said we need to raise more money, and we thought, why don't we just go and ask companies and see if they'll give us some money. So I have thanked Drago, Indiana for helping donate some money freshman year, which got the ball rolling. So we'll go with the Drago representative here. I don't see Mark Struck out here today, but I don't see Mark Struck, but as you look at these letters, I mean, they look absolutely stunning. He powder coated those as a donation to the school, and I wanted to show my gratitude with a gift, and this will have to get to him at a later date. Richard Kinger, I know you're here. Come up here. So for those of you who don't know, Kingery & Sons Constructions built this monument. They did an absolute phenomenal job. Looks better than what I could ever even imagine. He worked with me, and anyone knows me, I'm quite difficult to work with sometimes, and putting up with me deserves a thank you in itself, as well as creating something beautiful that'd be here at the school for a very long time, because he built it so it ain't going nowhere. We all thank him. I saw Dr. Hannah. Now, Dr. Hannah, you were superintendent for here all the way since I was here in kindergarten. Before. I only got here then, so that's as long as you've been here, in my opinion. But a lot of us, Class 2020, we've been here for the whole time. You've done a lot for us, as well as telling me I could do this, so I got to thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Terry Thompson, hand off the phone. You got to come up here, too. As principal, you did a heck of a lot for us, and we can't ever thank you enough. We had a lot of principals go through our time here in the high school and middle school, and you stuck around, so yeah, thank you for that. And also, we pitched this idea to you, and you told us we ought to go with it, and here exactly 1 year later, it's finally happened, so I appreciate that greatly. Ethan Buck was our class treasurer. Quite a few times he had good ideas, and sometimes I'm stubborn, and I should have listened to it a few more times, but quite a bit I did, and I'm glad I did. And I don't know how we would have been able to do a lot of things we did without you, so I appreciate it. Ella Marley, where are you? Anyone knows Ella, she has a very feisty attitude, and she put me in my place a lot. And she did a whole bunch for this class when it came to receipts, taking pause for our Disney trip, and I'm going to state it again because she did a lot. Put me in my place, which was very needed, so thank you, Ella. And my right-hand man, Matthew Hahn, he helped design pretty much a majority of this, and was always with me, helping me with ideas, getting the ball rolling. Did more than I could even describe, so I have to thank you, Matt. And I'm not quite yet done. Mrs. Fife. And Mrs. Fife, as a class sponsor, did a whole bunch of work for us. She put in countless hours, and she was very emotional towards this class. And oh man, I'm just giving her a clock, but what she did for this class, it's hard for me to describe. So I can't thank you enough. And then Mr. Priest. As you've probably heard, Mr. Priest is retiring after this year, and so he's been a senior class sponsor for a very long time, and I'm very grateful that I got to be here at the school while you were here. You were here with my dad, and my dad always had great stories all throughout elementary middle school. I couldn't wait till I had you in class. I'm glad I was able to have that. So on behalf of the class of 2020, thank you for all you've done, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Yeah. Woo!
And once again, thank you for all coming out. I don't have anything else to say.
Oh yeah, you got one more thing you gotta do. You gotta jump up there and you gotta ring that bell.
Okay.
Before you touch the ring.
He said bell. Ribbon or bell? Yeah. Ribbon? Cool.
Hey,
Ribbon.
we need Ethan and Ella.
Ethan, Elle, do you guys want to come up here with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the seniors might as well come up here.
Straight out, see
Yeah.
Oh no.
What'd you pick?
Not again.
Sure. Best part.
Which side do we go? I don't know. Let's go this way.
We're gonna knock it over.
Okay, wait. Are we all here?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
How well they're there.
Now I ring. Okay.
I'm taking a video.
Sweet. Now we just have to determine when we ring the bell.
That's for you to decide. It's here now.
Every passing here.
Every passing.
Oh, yeah, sure. You coming back?
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you, Jaden. Great job.